You're listening to Viking Radio, coming to you from Dream Street Studios at Del Mar College. Now your host, Dr. Natalie Chapa.
Good morning, Coastal Bend. You are listening to Retro Radio. This is Dr. Natalie Chapa on the mic today with the wonderful Mr. Michael Bratton.
Good morning. You're looking very refreshed today.
I slept a lot yesterday on an airplane, so I'm good. I'm doing really good. How are you doing today, Mike?
I'm doing great.
Well, we have a fabulous show this morning. We have the owner of Blanco Agency here with us, Mrs. Lydia Garza from Blanco Agency. Lydia, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Good morning. And so you are one of our Del Mar College alumni.
Yes, I was just telling him that I was here for a brief moment, I guess about a year, that I was in the Del Mar drama department before transferring.
And it made a huge impact on you, which is why you're here. But you've had a really amazing career in television and film.
Yes.
And so thank you for being here today, because I think our audience needs to hear about all the great people and stars here in the Coastal Bend.
The talent agency scene. Who knew that there's a talent agency scene in Corpus Christi?
And can we just say a legit talent agency?
A legit talent
scene?
agency.
Thank you. 11 years now.
11 years.
Yep.
Well, talk about those 11 years. What have you been up to here in the Coastal Bend?
Oh, man. Well, I had left. Among all the times that I was transferring colleges, I ended up finishing here in the Coastal Bend. Ironically, my fifth university ended up being the final one that I finished. And then I left.
And that was
for 10
Texas
years.
A&M?
Texas A&M. So
Corpus Christi?
Del Mar was
Okay.
my number two. I hopped around trying to find
Okay.
the right fit. When I changed majors, I was a psychology major before, and then shifted to theater. And then when I came to Del Mar, it's so funny. I went to 5 universities and colleges, and Del Mar, I will tell this till the day I die, Del Mar's drama department was peak experience with my education and my growth as an actor. So it's just a testament to
You can drop some professor names.
Oh,
Right, if we need to give anybody some
great-
snaps this morning. Who do you got,
Well,
Lydia?
You know, it's so funny. I came in right when Carl Yowell started. And so originally my first teachers were Sue Finley and Kim Frederick. And then Carl Yowell came in second semester. And I know that he's he's been here ever since. And I think we'll be retiring eventually soon. Who
We
knows?
hope not,
I
but
know.
we know that eventually all good things must come
Yes.
to an end. And Carl being here
Yes.
as faculty has just been amazing for,
Yeah,
the
those-
institution.
Those two gentlemen were my huge inspiration when I got here, Kim and Carl, and they're just amazing.
What was it about them, Lydia, for you? What was so inspiring?
They were actors themselves, and then they were teaching us how to do it. So to admire them as an artist and see them on stage and do their thing as well, like Kim, comedy. If you've ever
so
seen,
good.
yeah, he's amazing, and just Sue also in like teaching us. Like we were all so young and just beginning,
Impressionable, taking it all in.
Yes,
Still full of hope.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Yes.
give you hope, don't they?
It was so much fun, but it was a community. And that was like the hard part about leaving Del Mar and going to another university, because I was like, in that short year, I had gained so many friendships and so much community and great experiences on stage. And then I went to UNT in Denton. It just wasn't the same. I was there for a semester. I was like, nope. And then came back,
Wasn't
and then I
feeling it.
tried another one. I was like, not the same. I was kind of chasing that. I should have just come back straight to Del Mar, but I wanted to hurry up and finish my bachelor's degree. And so that's why I was like, let's get this done. But Del Mar's always been impressionable to me as far as my experience on stage and my education that I got here.
And that's the great thing. That's the legacy of this department, is that still continues.
Yeah.
So we still have amazing classes.
Yeah.
Again, from professional artists who are teaching the field, the artistry of what it is to act, to sing, to dance, to play music. We have We have a great program. And so you jumped around a little bit.
Yeah.
And then somewhere along the way, you produced this beautiful human being sitting here with us. Miss Ivy is in the studio
Yes.
today.
Much later, much later. It's like I had to go through all the experiences in life first. I went to Hollywood for 10 years. And then after the stint in Hollywood is when I came back to Texas and got married and had a family. And that's kind of like the next chapter of the book started, and where the agency and moving back home to Corpus Christi. It's such a long story. My life is such a long story.
In 1980.
Oh, it was the 1900s. They
The
make fun of me.
1900s.
Like, you were born in the 1900s? Yes.
Well, let's go back to that. I think it's hard to see for a lot of people in South Texas, a lot of people who are out there dreaming about something like this. It's hard to see the jump, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're little old South Texas doing your thing here in LA, Hollywood, New York just seems like another planet.
Yeah.
But you made that jump. You were here at Del Mar. But how did you do that? How did you get from South Texas to ending up in LA?
So I was very focused with the idea that I wanted to be a professional actor. I didn't know how to do that because, when you're in college and they train you the skills, but as far as the business leap of how to become a professional actor, that was still unknown to me. And so when I graduated college, I moved to Austin first, and I got my first agent in Austin. And I lived and worked in that market for about 2 years, getting my feet wet, doing some independent film, doing some short films, booking commercials, print work. And I was like, okay, getting that confidence. I was like, I think I could make a living doing this. Let me just go for it.
Who was your agent in Austin?
Oh man, she's gone and retired now. But back then, my agent was Boulevard Talent.
Okay.
Her name was Cynthia.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So I'm going to give myself a little shout out. I also had an agent in Austin, Texas.
Oh, really?
It was
Rome Talent.
It was Rome Talent.
She's out of San Antonio. Yes.
Okay. So at the time, she had an Austin
Really?
location.
I know Annette. Yeah.
But I was not as successful as
So-
Lydia Garza here in the studio.
Were you modeling or acting?
Both?
Really?
Yes. The good old days.
I did not know that about you.
I digress. So let's continue on with your journey.
I know. She wants to know how this happened.
Mine was so short-lived. Lydia's is an actual real life story. So let's continue with Lydia.
Yes. So after 2 years in Austin, I got brave and said, I think I'm going to go for it in Los Angeles. And I saved up a whole $3,000 because I thought that's going to get me far. And I went to LA and I didn't have a single, not a family member, a job, no friends. I was just kind of like, okay, what do I do? So it was a journey. It took me about a year and a half of learning the freeways, learning how the industry works, finding an apartment, getting, a temp job to try and make some money so I can put a down payment on an apartment. And it took me about a year and a half of doing non-union background work. I found an agent within my first couple of months. I was lucky.
That's awesome.
I was very lucky.
Yes.
And then it took me about a year and a half of doing non-union background work before I stopped doing that and got my first speaking role on a TV series. I took some workshops and classes, and I was doing everything I needed to do to try and book that first job. And I booked it with a TV show called Strong Medicine on Lifetime.
Okay.
And then shortly after that, I booked CSI, and then shortly after that, a sitcom called Good Morning Miami. And all of that was done in 1 month, in 30 days. I got those 3 TV jobs, and then it just all started.
It just keeps going from there. It
from
snowballs.
There. Yeah.
So if you, if for our audience, if you're out there and you've got anybody of any age, who's like, you know what, this is really cool. You are a conduit here with your agency.
Yeah.
So if somebody's here in the Coastal Bend, if you're here in Corpus, if you're in the little town of Aransas Pass, or Alice, Texas. Where do you start?
So I usually tell people if this is what you want to do, you have to do your research, right? Go out and find, like when people say, I've always wanted to be an actor, it's like, have you ever looked up agents in your area? No. Why not? Like that should be where you start. Well, first you start with training, right? You have to like make sure your skill level is ready to start working professionally as an actor. So get into classes, take courses at the university like I did. Do everything you can to lay that foundation, and then start researching and finding agents in your market and start where you are. And if there's no one where you are, then expand and start with a 2-hour drive or a 4-hour drive
Sure.
or wherever, so you can start finding
Okay.
representation and then see how they like to get submissions and then
So
start there.
let's go back to the education of that, because again, we do have the Del Mar College Arts Department here off the Heritage Campus here at Baldwin at Ayers. You can get an associate's degree here, but I believe also, Mike, again, you can take classes as a non-major, as
That's
a
right.
non-theater arts major.
Yeah, you can study even radio and television and digital media.
That's awesome.
Lydia said she took our radio program too.
There we go. And so if you're out there and you're like, I don't know if I want to switch majors, or I'm not sure, or there's that twinge in your heart that you're like, this could possibly be something, take a class at Del Mar College. You can get it up to an associate's degree here, but then Texas A&M University Corpus Christi also has a phenomenal program if you want to keep going and finish out that 4-year degree and decide to move. And then guess what? You've got a talent agency here that you can come and audition for. So when
Yes.
people contact you, it's a process. They have to audition with you first.
Correct.
Talk about that.
Yes. So a lot of the times people don't understand that it is an audition process. You have to audition. You have to get accepted into the agency in order for us to represent you. So what we ask for is a recent self-tape, because now that everything is a self-taped audition, everything is a self-taped audition.
So what does that mean, a self-tape?
So you get an audition, and instead of you driving in your car and showing up to the location and waiting outside and signing in and
Yes, and
coming
everything,
in, that's
Those days are gone.
completely gone, 100% gone. The industry has changed, and so now everything is a self-tape. So that means when you get the audition, you self-tape it at home with a blank wall, or if you shoot it on your phone, it's horizontal instead of vertical. Good lighting, good sound. You're memorizing and preparing the material. You have a reader. You're recording yourself. You're editing it, just to trim off the ends, and then you send it in. It's a skill that you have to learn how to do now just to audition at the professional level. Everything is, commercials, TV, film, everything is a self-taped audition. So I require a sample of that self-tape, because I need to know what the auditions will look like if you were to come on board with our agency and I send you an HEB commercial or a Yellowstone spinoff TV series audition. Like, what
Wow.
are you going to shoot it in your bathroom, in your car? Are you going to do it vertical, like if it's, short form or a TikTok video? Or are you going to do industry standard and give me good quality self-tape?
Are there workshops out there for people to learn how to do that? Can you, YouTube it? What's the best way for somebody starting out?
There, I say get your education everywhere and anywhere. But yeah, there's definitely workshops, there's classes, there's videos. If you take an acting for the camera class, I know at the university they have an acting for the camera class, and it teaches you how to self-tape and how to frame and eyeline and things like that, that obviously you don't learn if you're a theater major or
Sure,
you're
right.
not on camera.
Because theater, completely different.
Completely
skill
different.
set.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh,
Talk
yes.
about the difference between those two.
Yes. So theater acting versus on-camera acting. To me, I'm always a big believer that an authentic actor, a great actor, is a great actor no matter the medium, right?
Okay.
You could be on stage and be a great actor and then translate to the camera. So for me, I feel like there shouldn't be a difference except for your volume to reach the back of the theater and not, right? And maybe sometimes your gestures might be a little bit larger.
Larger
but other
on
than
stage.
that, the authenticity should always be there. But for film and television, a lot of times actors want to act, they want to perform. And for film and TV, is the ones that we all watch and love, they're not doing that. They're doing nothing. They're being, they're just being genuine,
Yeah.
real, authentic themselves. It's so honest. And it's just so small, and it's different from what you're used to doing if you're used to performing
So
proscenium.
I used to love that one show, the Actor Studio.
Oh, me too.
Isn't that a great
Yes.
show?
Yeah, I
Great
loved
show.
it.
Yes.
Love that show. We'll be right back.
This is where it all starts, where dreams take off and what's next becomes clear. This is Heritage Campus at Del Mar College, home to core classes in arts, sciences, and business, with upgraded facilities and faculty who provide a quality education that transfers with you wherever you're headed. This is a place of creativity, possibility, and success. A place to excel, a place to grow. This is where you belong. Learn more at dmcdreams.com.
This show is a production of Del Mar College, where advising and registration are underway for fall 2026 classes. Earn a certificate, associate's degree, or bachelor's degree for your dream career. Visit delmar.edu/registration.
Este es el lugar donde quieres estar. Aquí se sueña, aquí se crece. Para graduarte y destacar, este es el campus Oso Creek de Del Mar College. Aquí encontrarás asignaturas básicas y programas exclusivos, además de laboratorios e instalaciones avanzadas. Es un espacio de innovación, transformación y acompañamiento. Este es tu momento, tu futuro. Aquí es donde perteneces. Aprende más en dmcdreams.com.
This show is a production of Del Mar College, where if you already hold an associate's degree, you can start this fall earning an online bachelor's degree in organizational management and leadership. Learn more at delmar.edu/BAS. This is Viking Radio.
But for our audience listening in, just a reminder, we are here with Lydia Garza from the Blanco Talent Agency. Again, Lydia, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we're having this great conversation about art, television, film, and the business side of that too, and being here in South Texas and how you can get into that if you're interested. And so going back to the show we were just talking about, what was it called?
Inside the Actor Studio?
Inside the Actor Studio. Oh, I love that one. So that reminds me of that. I was listening to Bradley Cooper. I was watching Bradley Cooper's interview. And I don't know if y'all saw that one, but then they showed a frame of when he was a student asking the question.
How cool.
In the studio.
Full
It was super
circle.
cool. But to your point, he was talking about, they were reading lines, getting ready for a film with Robert De Niro. And he was so just in shock that he was in the room with Robert De Niro, and they're sitting there and they're going through their lines, and then there was a pause, and they all looked at Bradley like, it's your line. Robert De Niro had already started the scene, but it was just so natural, and it was just part of sitting there in a conversation that Bradley Cooper didn't realize that he was acting.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what you're talking
Yes.
about. It's just, you're just being.
Yes.
Organic.
If people can tell that you're acting, you're doing it wrong. That's always been the statement I've heard around my career is if you can tell, if you're practicing a scene with your scene partner on the side of the street and someone stops because they think it's a performance, then you're doing it wrong. But if they're like, oh, you're having a conversation, then you're doing it right. So yes, small, authentic, subtle.
Yes. And so there's a lot going on in the scene in South Texas or
Yeah.
Texas in general, right?
Yes.
Because there was some legislation passed that Chairman Todd Hunter helped out with. And talk a little bit about that, because I know you were, when I first met you, it was through Visit Corpus Christi.
Mm-hmm.
This was maybe a couple of years ago.
Yep.
And so talk a little bit about that, because there's so much going on in South Texas that I want people
Yes.
to know about.
So we have a new film incentive for the state of Texas, which has increased the amount of money that they can give back to productions that shoot here in Texas, which is a draw, right? So right now, a lot of projects are leaving Hollywood and they're shooting in other markets: Atlanta, Texas, New Mexico, Louisiana, all over the country. And so the incentives are what pull productions because they can get money back when they shoot in there. So like Texas has an incentive, and the new incentive has grown the pot that they can give back to productions. And a lot of it has to do with Taylor Sheridan and the work that he's brought and done to Texas.
Yes, I
Yeah.
think most Texans know Taylor Sheridan, right?
Yes,
Yellowstone.
Yes.
And then so many other ones. Was it 1925?
1883 and 1923.
Right? All those
watched them all.
phenomenal
Lioness.
shows. Lioness.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
that one is so good.
So good. Yeah.
Yes, I started watching that one too. That
Yeah.
one was excellent.
And I don't know if a lot of people know that he is here in Texas and that he has his studio in Fort Worth and that he's cranking out all of these spin-offs and TV shows right here in Texas, which are putting so many people to work, the crew, the cast, like our people in Texas to work. So it's a game changer, and that's
Do you feel like this is the first time that Texas has been on this spotlight
I feel
at
like
this level?
when I started as an actor right out of college, Robert Rodriguez was bringing.
Oh, that was huge.
Yes.
Yes.
When I moved to Austin, that's why I moved to Austin. I was like, Robert Rodriguez is making movies,
That's
and
right.
you know, Latino making movies.
Yes.
I'm a Latina, you know. So I was like,
I can do this too.
Yes. Yeah, so I think that was the first, but our incentive wasn't as strong when Robert was doing it. And then our incentive laxed, and then Robert had to go other places to shoot his
Is that what
films.
happened? Okay.
Yeah, and so we've been kind of fighting with other markets and seeing Atlanta blow up because so much, production is going to Atlanta now. And so this changes the game for Texas. Our incentive now puts us in competition with those other markets, and hopefully we'll be driving that production
I
here
hope
to
so.
stay.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
And it affects all of Texas because once a project shoots in Texas, like Taylor Sheridan in 1923, like he went to Galveston to shoot a part of his series, and they went to San Antonio
Yeah,
to shoot a part
that's
of the
right.
series. And then like Corpus Christi is now on, people's radars. And so that is now starting to bring all this production to different parts of the state and make a
It
difference.
is so exciting.
Yeah.
So I want to shift back to you because you spent a good deal of time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike, I think that's kind of where we always kind of get excited about. It's like, who do you know? Who did you
Yes.
see? Who did you work with?
Yeah.
Who did you enjoy working with? Who was like,
Tom Hanks is
oh,
the best. Nobody beats Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was my epitome of moments in my career. Very genuine. He treats you like you're his equal.
Yeah.
Like he treats you like you're his buddy forever. Like he's just so real and genuine. I love him. Steven Spielberg. I mean, a big name to drop, but he's like
drop it.
yeah,
Drop it, Lydia.
he was so sweet. Like I was so surprised. I thought I wasn't even going to be able to allowed to look him in the eye. Like I really thought there was going to be some boundaries and restriction, and he was so sweet and normal.
Wow.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed working with them.
You don't expect that. I think, when you think
No.
about LA and Hollywood and movie stars and
There's a hierarchy.
there's a hierarchy.
Yeah.
And so that's probably true a testament as to their success
Yeah. I mean, and it's not, yes, there's a hierarchy as far as like star power and stuff, but there isn't because we're all people, right? So they're not king and queen, and we're the peasants. But sometimes that's how people might feel and treat them, which might result in other people's heads getting bigger than they should because people are treating them like they're queen or king,
And then that's when reality gets really distorted.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of people start to stop being fans and, go another direction. But that was the one thing about Tom that I loved is that he didn't give off that air of superiority at all.
Very interesting. I
That's
love
impressive.
humility like
Very
that.
much so. Very much so.
I'm dying to ask a question. Have you ever met my future wife, Eva Longoria?
I worked with Eva, yes.
Really?
I worked
What's
with
she
her
like?
on Desperate Housewives. It was fun. She's from Corpus, and
Isn't
so
that
I
awesome?
was
Just that
really-
South Texas connection.
That's what I got to do. I did have a conversation with her in the makeup trailer, and I was like, you and I are from the same hometown. We're from Corpus Christi, and so, what school did you go to? And so it was a nice little connection.
That is awesome.
Moment.
I mean, to have two from South Texas, and now she's got these really great travel shows and food shows. so
Powerhouse. She's a
it's-
powerhouse.
It's
She's
awesome. awesome.
doing, and I love that she's directing and producing
Yes.
and from Corpus. Like, these are all amazing, great things. So I'm happy for her.
Do you happen to have her number on your phone?
Okay,
know
Mike
what?
B. Somebody cut him off. Cut off the mic. Cut off the mic on Mike.
That's so funny.
Couldn't resist, sorry.
Hey, you don't know if you don't ask.
That's right.
You gotta
That's
ask.
exactly right.
So what's next for you, Lydia?
Oh gosh. I am just discovering talent and submitting talent and getting excited when they book big things. I mean, and seeing my kids go off into high school and do all of their great, amazing things that they're doing. I mean, it's just been great. We're busy. My husband works with me full time with the agency. So we're both, submitting actors for commercial TV and film. One of our actors booked a recurring role on Madison, which is the spinoff for Yellowstone.
Oh, yes.
Dutton Ranch.
Dutton Ranch.
It was the working title, Madison, but now it's Dutton Ranch. So he just premiered on that a couple of
very
weeks ago.
nice.
So that's exciting, finding talent that thought about doing it or just getting started, and then all of a sudden a dream come true happens like that. So that's what we're doing on the day-to-day.
That is so exciting.
As a viewer, what's your favorite series or movie right now?
Oh gosh, I'm so behind on watching television. I wish I could sit and binge watch. I need to catch up on Handmaid's Tale so I can watch the Testaments. So that's one thing I've got on my list, and I've got to finish all of wherever I left off on Yellowstone so I can start watching the Dutton Ranches, because I'm like, I need to finish the entire series because there's a whole story there, and I can't just jump to
I
a
know.
spinoff. I need to know what happened to these people first. So I have a lot of binge watching to do. Yeah.
I'm also very behind. I feel like I'm just starting to catch up on things that, shows that people watched 3, 4, 5 years ago. I'm just now starting to watch.
Me
but
too.
They're so good that they still hit. They still connect.
Yeah, for sure. And if I like a series, I watch it twice. Like Game of Thrones. Like, I watch an entire series of Game. I'm like, that was so good. Let's start again.
But to watch GOT twice, I mean,
Yeah,
it's so
that's
hard.
intense.
I have not seen that.
Mike, you have to be ready to be in pain.
Yeah.
Emotional, physical pain, but it's so good.
We did
Really?
that with Breaking Bad too. We've watched
Breaking
the
Bad
whole
is so
series.
good.
I was
and then
the
we
last
started.
person to see Breaking Bad, and God, that was awesome.
It's great,
I
right?
feel like I was the last person to watch Ted Lasso, and it changed my life. It was a paradigm shift.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you got to watch Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Okay, like all of it as soon
Okay.
as possible. And again, another one that I was late on, but talk about another paradigm shift, just like the other day, Fleabag.
I don't know that one.
Oh my God, y'all.
Where is this?
Rob is shaking. Yes, you got to watch Fleabag.
Is it on Netflix? Is it?
It is. I think it was Netflix. I'm really bad at remembering which app it was on. I was about to say which station.
Which channel?
So for everybody out there, again, if you're interested in classes, in this type of career, in this type of profession, again, reach out to Del Mar College. Our webpage is delmar.edu.
.edu.
Nice and simple. Give us a call here at the college. Get online. Come and visit and take a class. We still have the great Carl Yao for as long as, hopefully as long as we can. But we still have amazing instructors that will help you to kind of dip your toe in nice and slowly, but get you ready in case you want to call Lydia up and possibly audition. So Lydia, if somebody wants to get a hold of you, your talent agency and audition, how do they get a hold of you?
So all of our information is on our website. So it's www.theblancoagency.com. We're also on Instagram. And I started posting advice videos on TikTok. So I'm on TikTok as well.
I think Ivy probably had a little bit to do with helping you with that. Mom's on TikTok. How embarrassing.
Her friends do follow me.
Ooh, burn, Ivy. She's popular.
She's second guessing her choice to come today. Well, thank you. This was great.
Thank you so much for joining us. And Coastal Bend, hope you have a great rest of your day and continue listening to Retro Radio. We'll see you tomorrow.
Adios.
Adios.
This show is a production of Del Mar College. Follow us on Spotify at Viking Radio.